Yo,
Yo,
oh, hey,
we
we live,
live. What's
man.
up?
What's up, man? We diving in today, man. We coming in
Here
this
we
thing.
go. Just
Uh,
hit that running.
that late night burning the candle at both ends. Up late night and then up today. Got a couple notes. I'm just gonna dive in. Fuck it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So we're gonna dive in on some your mindset and how like investing in your health versus entertainment, where you place your value,
Hmm.
nutrition and emotion, how they affect each other, and it's kind of health around 30. Give or take 2 years. That's kind of when a lot of people see, oh, I gotta take this serious.
Yeah, yeah, and it's crazy that it does, man. It's almost like universal between. I think I can even speak for myself between the ages of 30 and like 40. People become more accepting, at different points, but between those time frames they become more accepting that oh wow, like of the reality that I am going to die one day, and in the meantime, like I need to improve like my overall like health and start
Right.
investing in it.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
uh,
it's like I don't get what people say. Like I'm old when I'm 30, and it's like what you have like not even a third of the way done. You still got
yeah,
double the amount of time you've already
that,
been alive to keep
like
going.
I don't want to hear your outlook on when you turn 40. Like Jesus, if you think that at 30, yeah.
Yeah, like one guy I know, he took so bad care of his health, and he was only 54, 55, something like that, and he literally just can't even take care of himself anymore. He has to be in like a home where people take care of him, and he could still live in that 20, 30 years, and now you got 30 more years in a body that does not work because you
Right,
did not
right.
do the right
Yeah,
thing for consistently long enough. Versus
yeah.
my
You know.
doctor,
Mhm.
last time I talked to one, he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna live like 20 years past the regular person, and
Yeah,
your health is like out of a textbook. It's so good. It's abnormally good."
yeah, yeah, man. And that's what
Yeah.
people gotta, realize too, man. I've had some people present arguments. I mean, people will come with whatever reason as to not, invest in, their health or whatever. And then one of the common arguments, I remember a guy said to me very jokingly, was like, "Well, Daryl, you could do all this stuff and then and get hit by a bus." Like one day, I said, "Yeah, that's true." I said, "But in that scenario, God forbid, that's gonna be the healthiest body getting hit by a bus." Because I mean, at the end of the day, the reality is that I think one of the misconceptions as to why people go after health and nutrition, like as an investment, is that it's going
Mm,
to extend your life. That's a possibility, but as we all know, is that random things can happen and we can be gone tomorrow. So
yeah.
therefore, the overall focus is really quality of life.
Yeah, and
That,
like how I would answer that question even would be like if yeah, a bus could try to come and hit both of us, but if I'm in shape, I'm probably gonna jump away from the bus. You out of shape, you're gonna get hit by that bus. You can't even jump out the way. You're too slow. You're like, I can't run, man. I got this knee. It's too much weight on it. It's like one of my clients. When he lost when he lost his first 45 pounds, I gave him a weighted vest, and it was 45-pound vest, and I was like, put this on, and I was like, all right, go walk around with it, and he was just like exhausted. He was like, wow, this thing is just so much. I was like, yeah, that's your old weight. You used to just always walk around with that weight just on your body, but
right,
now that's off. Like now, this is why you feel so much better moving around and because you had over 50 pounds of just extra fat your body didn't need or want just hanging on you. And now when you're walking around, it's just it's
right,
tiring. And now that you don't have it, put this
right.
vest on, and that's
Hmm.
your old weight. You used to walk around. It might be tiring right now, even though you're in better shape because you're like, well, I'm walking around with 45 pounds. Like if you go to a gym, pick up a plate that's 45 pounds. Imagine just walking around every day all the time with that. It's probably tiring.
Yeah,
But you're doing that if you're just having an extra body fat on you that you don't
exactly.
need.
And
It's
then
just you're not thinking about it in the same way because you're not holding this giant plate.
that's,
Um, but
yeah.
yo, D, so yeah, I want to dive in like on this one part of like some of you mentioned.
Hmm.
You know, like with the mindset investing in your health versus entertainment, kind of like where you place your value. And like we were talking about, like if someone was coming one of us and say like, oh, maybe I want to discount something, da da da. But people don't go to a bar and ask for a shot and then ask for a discount. Like, you just take a shot. But if people spend a
Yeah,
lot of years taking a lot of shots and they never worry about they're investing in destroying their health. And for
that's true.
entertainment, we all been there. I've done it. I've gone to
Yeah.
the bar and got 14, 15 shots at a time. We all done that at some point.
Hmm.
But like I've invested far more in making sure that the other side, I'm is right.
That's true, man.
Yes. So
It's
you kind
a
of
lot.
dive in on your own words, your own thoughts on like health
Yeah,
versus entertainment.
it's once again, man. It's like we do, man. Especially in this day and age, we live in especially our American society. It's very, very like in, instant gratification driven, or instant like impulse and satisfaction driven. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, when you have been either out of like nutrition or just overall like wellness, or becoming physically fit in any aspect, that it's going to be hard to transition back into that. But once you do, you can start to get enjoyment out of it, because you start to see the results. But at the same time, if you're out of it, and you're like, and like you and I both, we're no strangers from that, where you could be out of it, and you could be kind of looking forward to the happy hours, looking forward to the just like going drinking, but you don't see that. Ask yourself, take time to ask yourself, what return am I getting on this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's like that consciousness comes in, at least for me. Because that's why I'm probably one of the most annoying coaches, because there's like not many things a person can sit down with me and say that, oh, well, I can't spend money on this and that, any sort of investment in one's health, because I'm going to look at them like, okay, well, if you smoke cigarettes, like, yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes too. So yeah, and don't even get me to do like the numbers on that. Like, you're spending like $7. Like, I was at a half a pack at the most.
Yeah, you're smoking like you spend thousands a year.
Thousands a year. Yeah. So really, it's like you have the money, but it's back to like how we're talking about the mindset.
Yeah.
That's where you feel
you're
like
you're investing in the things that damage you rather than like the things that help you. And like,
exactly
so you're just placing your value in one thing over the other. It's like,
over the other. It's not that you don't have money; it's that you don't have the mindset to see the value in where you want to put your money.
yeah. And just to jump in there real quick, just think it's like, people would say, well, it's pleasurable to smoke a cigarette or eat something that's like tastes great or is bad for you, whatever. But like in the end, it's your. I at this point, I see it. I feel better most of the time, or if not all the time, and I get more pleasure out of taking care of my health, because I actually feel better all the time, versus that little break in window where it's like, oh yeah, a little quick cigarette, boom, all right, now I'm good for like 15 minutes before I have a horrible craving or worse, anxiety or something.
Right. True, man.
Yeah, and that's something like you mentioned, like what you're consuming food wise, and like what your return is. Like I eat good. I have a professional cooking background from years ago, and then like nutrition coaching and fitness training. So like I know how to make good food is good for me, and it's like I like to have those as like I'm gonna eat good and feel good. Versus I don't know where this mindset is, like maybe it's because someone's parent made some horrible Brussels sprouts when they were a kid or something, and they're like, oh, that. But like
early food trauma.
Yeah, so like you can easily make things that are amazing. It's just, and they're amazing for you. It's just, are you, or do you just not know what you're doing? If you don't know what you're doing, or the best way to always go and improve is a mentor.
You touch on a good point too. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with depending on one's upbringing, of course, like when it comes to quote unquote healthy foods, and it's just like it's about of course, like, yeah, we like to eat foods that that are enjoyable, that taste great, and it can be possible for those foods to not only taste great but be of nutritional value to you too. Um, and I think that people will have to dive into that, and it's exciting too, man. I love like getting new recipes, and when I go to meal prep and trying new and exciting different stuff, and diving into that, and it's like you don't have to sacrifice something tasting good in order for it to be of nutritional value, and people got to get that out their heads too.
Yeah, especially because let's like you said earlier, like sometimes people fall off on like going to the gym or something. Well, it's like you can fall off on going to the gym. I worked like 300 hours in the last like 3 weeks. I obviously did not have the time to go to the gym every single day and do 2 hours like I like to do. But I'm gonna eat regardless. So if I'm gonna eat regardless, I can at least make sure that I'm going to eat the right things and still enjoy what I eat. And I have, and I'm still 8% body fat. I'm still feeling good. I'm still alive. I'm still doing great. And that everything is still up. Because no matter what, I'm going to eat. Can't just not eat.
Yeah, right.
So like, even if you can't hit the gym, you can still make sure you're eating right. And that's why I like the whole nutrition side of things, because one, it's a lot less known and understood. And then two, it's, even if you can't work out right, you can still stay healthy, stay amazing, stay in great shape. You can even drop body fat and still hit all your goals even if you never went to the gym. Obviously, building muscle and stuff helps, especially like the older you get. But I mean, if your nutrition's right, which you're gonna eat regardless. Most people don't fast every single day, and there's only some monks in the world that do that, and they still eat at some point. So as long as you can still eat, and then if you just stay on top of that, and if you know what you're doing, it just becomes automatic. It just clicks. It just becomes like you don't have to think about what you're doing. It's just, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Or it's just like having a bunch of tools in your toolkit, like martial arts. Martial arts, it's you learn all your different moves and skills, not because somebody does this punch and you're gonna do this. No, it's like you just have a bunch of tools in your toolkit for different scenarios that can happen that you can bring out. And then like something related to this, like again, like health around 30, like let's say give or take 2 years when people get more serious. Like, what do you think it is when people look in the mirror? Like, because I had some people, they say like, they look in the mirror and they're not like happy with what they see, or they're just not like, that's me. That's exactly in my mind what I picture, what I want. Like,
yeah.
D, I feel like you're 42, you're cut up, man. Do you look in the mirror and you're like, yeah, I'm good? Like,
well, so I think it's like kind of touching on the last live we had, to where it's I mean, don't get me wrong, does it feel great to look in the mirror like and see like, hey man, see, like not only just like basically evidence of the work you've been putting in, right? And then feeling great. It's a very great visual sort of boost. But at the same time, the other flip side of that too, I feel great, like how you were just saying, when you go to your doctor and your doctor's like, yo, whatever you're doing, keep it up. That's a great thing too, because sign of your investment as well is not just the overall, like investing in your health and wellness, and not just obviously the physical appearance, but most of all, like, what are your numbers? Where's your cholesterol standing? Where is your heart rate standing? Where is your, insulin levels? All of those, like those are important. Exactly. All of that, so, and it's back to that key investment of like nutritional value, because even you could have jacked up, you could have a great nutrition program like you just said and still see results without even stepping in the gym, so and then vice versa. You can't do it the other way around. You can have a crap nutrition program, go in the gym for 2 to 3 weeks and get discouraged because you're not seeing progress.
Yeah, you could be gaining weight and still going to the gym and like, what's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. See, I told you guys this gym crap was was a bunch of nonsense. So, but yeah, man. So it's at the core. You're right, man. It's at the core. So that's how I look at both of those things. I mean, while it feels great to look in the mirror and feel very like confident, about myself, about the appearance, and about the work I've been putting in. Also on the back, or also, the reward too is, going to my doctor and them saying, not only am I like, are you in great shape, but it's like, man, you're probably in better shape than like most, like, late 30s and late 30s.
Didn't your doctor once say that, like, I think when you were like 40 or 41, like the other year, they were like, yeah, your metabolic rate is like the age of like a 25-year-old or a 20-year-old.
Yeah, man, I was like shocked. It's like, yeah, my metabolic age was about like 25. Now it's hovering right around there, still right around like 27.
Yeah, but you're like, early 40s, and your doctor's like, yeah, you're like pretty much 15, 20 years younger with your body thing.
Yeah, man. And it's and like I said, man, it's not, once again, for anyone who's checking this out, it's not like this was a non-stop sort of thing for me. I think that, you and I both, I mean, that's what we, want to get out there as well. We've had dips in our programs, but it's becoming coming closer and closer to that. Hey, where making your mind up as to where you want to place
Place your
what's important.
value.
Place your value.
Yeah.
Your value
Yeah.
nutrition. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
will you crave and probably go get a Five Guys burger here and there? Yes, that's going to happen. You know what I mean? Yes, that's going to happen. But it's just overall, what is your focus? Where do you have value in? And then that's
Yeah.
all.
And you can even hack your food with that. Like I eat burgers. I love burgers, and I've been eating burgers while I've been sub 10% body fat, and it still works. This is what you do. You hack your food. You eat. I use a certain kind of bread. This is Dave's
Right.
Killer bread. Stuff's amazing. It has a great fatty acids. It has a higher protein count. And I use a smaller cut, so it has less overall calories. And then as I add a bunch of veggies, so I get a bunch of micronutrients, and it fills me up a lot more. And then it tastes amazing, and it's a burger. And the beef still has a lot of good benefits, and depending on your genetic background, I mean, you might still need to eat stuff like that, and it could be better or worse for you.
That is true.
And that's another thing. Like genetics for its hard work. Like anyone ever looks at either of us and thinks of genetics, they're insane. Like,
dude, I know.
That's discounting the fact that you've spent
Yeah.
20 years and I've spent 10 years on learning nutrition and fitness and have put a lot of time into it while managing everything else in life.
Everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, you managing a family, me managing 60 plus hours of work my entire adult life while doing a million other things.
Yeah. And then once again too, like that's also one of the reasons, and that it's not to make it seem like it's not legitimate, but we all lead busy lives, but I think that's more important to where your nutrition has to be a huge investment. It does, man. It does, because like you're going to see so many returns on that. Just the rigors of life, the day in and day out. Your energy levels. Like that's the first question I ask. Like most clients is like, how is your energy? For a day in day out. Where like what would take me through a typical day of what you're consuming, and then like you feel like you're getting a return on that. Like it's so funny. Like if we could look at our nutrition as like an investment on the stock market. Like if I told a dude, hey, invest in the stock market that they know is tanking, invest in the stock that they know is tanking, they would look at me like I'm crazy. So it's like the same concept comes with food. Like if you look at the food, if you learn nutritional value and what you're going to get from consuming certain food items or lack of, or what you're not going to get, then it's like, okay, why am I putting this in my body?
Yeah. But it's like I think a lot of people just don't even know where to start. Like it's not something I ever talked about or taught. It's not like a lesson in school.
True.
But you brought up this thing with some entrepreneur in Chicago that was starting like a vegetarian food truck. You remind me everyone about why he did that and like what his reason was for because they all stem from like not even just the business side but like poor nutrition in the inner city.
Yeah, man. It's I forgot the rapper's name, but hopefully people, if you listen to this and if you're curious to know about it, just Google Chicago rapper is opening a chain of vegan food trucks, and so immediately I saw it and I read the article. It was some weeks back, so I don't remember all the actual details of it, but just the overall takeaway was I could see immediately what his aim was, and a lot of people this was funny about it that I was reading some of the comments in this chat room, and a lot of people couldn't get the correlation between why is he putting, what's the significance of him starting vegan food trucks in the inner city,
and
because
especially in like Southside Chicago.
Southside Chicago. So like on the surface, it may seem like, okay, well, this is a big waste of time, but it's like, no, it's not, because if you look at like most impoverished areas, and this is not even just restricted to the inner city, you could look around the world, is that what's going to be consistent with a low sort of like a low, how can I put it?
Low nutritional level with especially micronutrients, but even just getting proper food.
Exactly. In heavily impoverished areas, you're going to have all the symptoms of it, which is like, low education, and also most importantly is unhealthy food selections, and so his aim is like, I even commented, and I told someone in that room who was laughing about it, and I laughed a little bit too. I said, yeah, on the surface, you know, it could seem like it's like has no connection. I said, but what he is trying to garner, what he's trying to do is he's trying to introduce more healthy food options, where it's like could build a person's like you know, more curiosity into this,
Yeah.
and in turn they'll feel, you know, more inclined to look at, you know, what other options are out there. And with the importance of one's health and the investment in one's health becomes the importance of one's life as well, you know, and quality of life, you know. And so that's
Yeah.
where it's like, you know, stressing to where I see, and I hope, man, I'm wishing him great success with that, because I think that is something like awesome that a lot of like, not even just people in the industry. I mean, there are other people out there doing that too, in different forms
Yeah.
of
What people call like especially in the inner city, you call it food deserts, because there's this like the only like yeah, there's everyone knows if you ever been to the ghetto, everyone knows there's a couple things that are always in the ghetto. You got liquor store, you got check cashing place, then you got some like kind of convenience store that sells pretty much fake
it's
food. Like
the
then you go to
same
like
state.
a gas station, you're just having like chips and Rice
That's
Krispie
right,
treats.
man.
I love Rice Krispie treats, but like they don't give me much. And I've been sub 10% body fat for a while now this year,
Yeah.
and it reminds me of a quote a friend of mine had about money. And he was like, "Money doesn't change you; it enhances your qualities, both good and bad." And like I've been noticing that like when you hit this like extreme of sub 10% for men, it's the same. Like your good can turn to great easily, and your bad can turn to horrible quick. Like I got issues with like depression, anxiety. I got bones out of place in both my hands and my feet, ADHD, OCD, and like if I don't stay on top of the right things, they drop and they get worse real fast, or
Hmm.
faster than like if I was in like maybe a little bit like more of a normal like 12-13% body fat.
Hmm.
Um, but then like when I'm good and I stay on top of it, everything's better. Like I feel better, I look better, and I'm more focused, and like everything just works smoother, and it gives me more motivation to be like, oh, okay, I gotta stay on top of this. And then when I do, everything is going to be better. So it's like, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to just slack off and just let everything fall off and be
Yeah.
and let like depression get worse, lose my focus,
Hmm.
make anxiety run up? Or do I want to stay on top of it and feel better, look better, have more focus, be happy with what I look into the mirror, and like everything just bring up a level?
That is true, man. Yeah. And it's like you know, because we all have, you know, things that could come like you know, from around the corner, like especially like health wise, but you know, it still comes down to like, you know, what is going to be of value to you. You know,
Mm.
if you get diagnosed as being a diabetic, you know, what are you going to do, you know, from that point
Yeah.
forward, like, you
Yeah,
know.
because like even like especially with stuff like that, like my uncle, I mean, he died at 33 because he didn't take care of his diabetes, he didn't take it serious. He just let it slack off. And like a friend of mine down south, rest in peace, but I mean, he had the same thing. He didn't take care of his health. He lost both his big toes from his diabetes. He ended
Mm.
up passing away a few years back because I mean, he never, he never took care of it. They were from the sticks, so they're kind of in that same like food desert-ish type of
Mhm.
scenario, like not as much access to information or resources. I mean, they
Yeah.
had farms in the area because it's the sticks, but still, like it's in an impoverished place. They had like impoverished mindset in some ways where it's just just
It is,
didn't.
and and that's a huger, you know, topic, and but it
Yeah,
is like trying to reach out to people and get them to understand that. But it is a hard thing to drive home if a person like if they grew up and that's all they know, you know.
yeah,
But that's where
yeah.
it's like speaking to where towards what we
Neighborhood
talking
mindset.
about, that mindset,
Yeah,
man.
neighborhood mindset. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like even stuff like this, like the Chicago guy. I think where he's even trying to do is like he's tapping into like thing of like mood and nutrition, because like when your nutrition isn't right, and nutrition just meaning like just the food and drinks you put in your body, and mainly with not even just your macronutrients, because you can eat a cup of sugar and get a bunch of macros, with
Hmm.
especially mainly just carbs, obviously, but or you can eat a pound of fat and a pound of sugar and a pound of whatever, some lean meat or something. Let's say
Hmm.
get or whey. Let's just say whey, and you can get everything: fat, carbs, protein. But like you're not getting your micronutrients to help balance you out. And then like the other thing is your hormone levels, and like if everything's not in line, and it's pretty simple when you know what you're doing, honestly. Like it's really it doesn't take a lot to keep everything balanced and good and proper. I mean, even just doing things that don't stress you, taking 60 to 90 minutes per week to do
That's
things
true.
that relax you.
Yeah.
That's something that can even balance your hormones, and it's just simple things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because in
man.
the end, it's just like quality of life, health,
It's
wealth,
it's
life.
quality of life, man. That's all it is, man. It's quality of life, and I think that that's another thing is that we, a lot of us, like, we're getting up every day, and don't get me wrong, man, it's easy to slip into it where you just accept that I just feel like crap. Like I can't even tell you like how many people like you listen to this, and you'll have either a coworker or a family member that you can either be in passing or just asking them, just in general, like hey man, how you doing today? Oh man, the first thing you're like, oh, I feel this and that. But it's like you go like you start like I don't know, maybe it's just me. I intently listen to people, and over time I'm like, damn, like, this dude doesn't realize he constantly just feels like shit, like all the time. Like it's just different degrees of. Like, do you ever have like
Yeah,
a great day? Like
yeah. Like I'm cool with feeling exhausted because I
because yeah,
worked 100 hours in a week by the end of the night. But like when I wake up, I mean, I like to keep everything right where I'm just like, okay, I'm good. Let's start
right,
again.
right.
Like it's just boom, next thing.
And that's a difference. Like you're making a good point. That's a difference because it's like, all right, it's one thing to be exhausted at the end of an accomplished and packed full day where you got stuff done. But if you wake up and you have that feeling before you even started, it's like
Good luck, bro.
it's
Good luck.
like,
Oh man,
like
yeah,
bro,
that's a
like
problem. It's like it's that thing like what Steve Jobs said, when you wake up too much days and you're not feeling it, you're not happy with what you're doing and stuff. Even with and he was talking about like jobs and work, and but I think it's just overall lifestyle in the end. We was talking about like if you're waking up too many days and you're just like I don't like this, you got to change something, and it's something you're
Dude,
probably not investing in the right priorities. Your
yeah,
priorities are probably in the wrong place at that point.
right, exactly. And your overall, like your day to day, the way you feel,
Yeah,
and
because in
and the
the end,
parent
like you
having it.
control your life.
Yeah, man, yeah, and hopefully people can see that, and then well before, back to what you brought up earlier, people become more conscious of this and place more importance as they get older. However, it just really depends on as to what their day-to-day nutrition, exercise all the way across the board
Mhm.
entails up to that point, because it's
Yeah,
like you could have made any sort of like hereditary sort of diseases or just any sort of like natural wear and tear on the body even worse. Like even back to you drawing the analogy of the 45-pound weight, that in those cases, like extra weight on your bone structure, wears down your
yeah,
joints.
yeah. But no, like
So
my client, even super respected dude, but like when he dropped the weight, everything's disappeared. Like he used to use an inhaler because all that extra weight was on him. He doesn't use an inhaler anymore.
right,
Like,
right,
all that 45-pound weight that was on his chest is gone now. He doesn't need to use an inhaler just to breathe anymore. And he got COVID. He was like he swears up and down that if he didn't drop that weight, there's a better chance he would be dead right now. And he's like, yo, if I didn't take care of my health, like literally months before he got sick with COVID, he might have died because of he already had pre-existing breathing issues. He already had bad lungs, and then if he was still using an inhaler when he got COVID, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what would have happened."
dude. Yeah. He saved his own life essentially.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
he's in school, he's focusing on engineering, and like he's enhanced right now, and he feels it. He's doing
That's
great.
right.
I'm happy for him.
Got to invest in your health, people, man. Listen to this, man. Got to
Yeah,
invest
man.
in your health, man. Got to place it.
Pick your
Got to be.
priorities.
Got to be a priority, man. And
Pick your priorities.
you don't have to feel like crap every day. At least not at the start of your day. Feel like crap at the end of the day of a productive day.
There,
Yeah. Not at the
there
beginning,
you
though.
go. But well,
Yeah.
yo, D, I think we did a lot here, man. We'll end this with like if you wake up in the morning and you feel great, you can raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand if you wake up feeling great. If not, pick your priorities.
Some people probably flipping us off right now.
Fine. They probably, well, they're in a mirror flicking themselves off at that point, but
that's true, man.
Just pick your priorities.
Well, man, I'm at my favorite happy place, man. One Life South in Frederick. You know, people got to start hitting us up. Cody, you know, you a member too, and you and I have the VIP membership. We could go enjoy every location. So yeah, man. So you guys gotta, you know, hit us up, get at us for nutrition programs and also workout sessions too, man. Hero Journey Fitness, man.
There you
That's
go.
What's up.
Hero's Journey. All right, brother.
Yep. All right, brother. Talk to you later, man. Peace.
Peace.